माता की जय, भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय, कलका माता की जय, कलका माता की जय, कलका माता की जय.
India-Pak to hold separate naval drills in Arabian Sea on August 11 and 12. The navies of India and Pakistan are set to conduct separate naval exercises in the Arabian Sea beginning Monday, defense sources confirmed on Sunday. Both nations have issued notices to airmen, NOTAMs, to restrict air traffic over their respective maritime zones for the duration of the drills. According to officials, the Indian Navy will hold exercises on August 11 and 12, while the Pakistan Navy has announced a two-day drill within its waters during the same period. Indian Navy warships would be carrying out drills in the Arabian Sea on August 11 and 12. Pakistan Navy has also issued a NOTAM for its own exercises, a defense source said. The development follows just months after heightened tensions between the two countries in May. On April 22, a deadly terror attack in Pahalgam claimed 26 lives. In retaliation, India launched Operation Sindoor on May 7, targeting terror infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir.
Operation Sindoor, success points to homegrown power. Describing Operation Sindoor as a symbol of India's self-reliance and self-confidence, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said on Sunday that the strikes were proof that the country has the capability to defeat its enemies with homegrown strength. Speaking at an event at Umaria, Madhya Pradesh, he said the operation has sent a strong message that India no longer tolerates an attack on its integrity and sovereignty, and efforts to boost indigenous defense production have lent it strength. Our defense production and exports are increasing at an unprecedented pace and have touched record figures. This is the new defense sector of the new India, he said. Singh had earlier shared that annual defense production has soared to an all-time high figure of 1.51 lakh crore rupees, and defense exports have touched a record 23,622 crore rupees. Singh said armed forces used indigenous technologies and weapons during the recent operation, which played a pivotal part in its success in demolishing terror targets in Pakistan. India was able to reach this position only because it has taken the pledge to become Atmanirbhar in the defense sector, he said. Speaking at a different event, Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi said the armed forces were given a free hand during the operations, and there was clear political direction that terrorists and their supporters need to be brought to task. The officer said there was political clarity and confidence that helped execute the operations successfully, recalling a meeting with the defense minister on April 23, a day after the Pahalgam terror attack. The defense minister said, "Enough is enough." All three chiefs were very clear that something had to be done. A free hand was given. You decide what is to be done. That is the kind of confidence, political direction, and political clarity we saw for the first time. That is what raises your morale. On Sunday, CDS General Anil Chauhan also referred to Op Sindoor, speaking at a function in Secunderabad. The senior officer said Operation's success is a testament to the synergy and cohesion achieved by the three services.
Rajnath Singh says India's defense production reaches record high of rupees 1.5 lakh crore rupees in FY25. Union Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said on Saturday, India's defense production has reached an all-time high of rupees 1.5 lakh crore rupees in fiscal year 2024-25. The production grew around 18% when compared to the previous fiscal year's total output of rupees 1.27 lakh crore rupees. The annual defense production has soared to an all-time high figure of rupees 1,50,590 crore rupees in the financial year 2024-25, Rajnath Singh said in a social media post on X. These numbers indicate a robust 18% growth over the previous fiscal's output of rupees 1.27 lakh crore rupees and a staggering 90% increase since 2019-20, when the figure was rupees 79,071 crore rupees, he added. Singh commended the collective efforts of the Department of Defense Production and all stakeholders, including the defense public sector units and the private industry, in achieving what he called a landmark. This upward trajectory is a clear indicator of India's strengthening defense industrial base, he said. According to an official statement, defense public sector undertakings DPSUs and other PSUs accounted for approximately 77% of total production, while the private sector contributed 23%. The share of the private sector, which increased from 21% in FY 2023-24 to 23% in FY 2024-25, reflects the sector's growing role in the defense ecosystem of the country. Both public and private segments of the industry have demonstrated consistent year-on-year growth attributed to far-reaching policy reforms, enhanced ease of doing business, and a strategic focus on indigenization over the past decade. The overall production of DPSUs and the private sector has increased by 16% and 28% respectively in FY 2024-25. The emphasis on reducing the dependency on imports and creating a defense industrial complex that not only caters to India's needs but also strengthens the potential of exports has shown positive results. It may be recalled that the defense exports have surged to a record high of Rs 23,622 crore rupees in FY 2024-25. It was a growth of Rs 2,539 crore or 12.04% over the defense exports figures of FY 2023-24, which were Rs 21,083 crore.
Unlocking UAV making system. 2 players to get 30,000 crore rupee order. The 30,000 crore rupee deal to supply long-range drones to armed forces, which has recently been cleared by the Defense Ministry, is set to unlock the UAV manufacturing ecosystem in the country, with 2 players set to split the order, creating distinct production lines that can cater for larger orders in the future, besides exports. Defense Acquisition Council recently gave the go-ahead to procure 87 medium-altitude long-endurance drones that are to be made indigenously. The drones will carry out tasks such as reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and precision missile strikes. The armed forces will shortly come out with an expression of interest, inviting Indian companies to bid for the contract, after which trials will be carried out before reaching the final stage of commercial negotiations. Sources said, a key decision taken at DAC is to ensure that 2 of the bidding players get a part of the contract. The final order, estimated to be in excess of 30,000 crore rupees, will be split between the 2 lowest bidders. Sources said the split will be in the 64:36 ratio, with the lowest bidder getting the bigger share. This would ensure that India would have 2 separate manufacturing mail lines, giving the flexibility to ramp up production at short notice if needed. The bidding companies will need to ensure that aerostructures and main parts are made locally, and even the engine for the drone is assembled and tested in India. Importantly, even the components for electro-optical payloads and satellite communications need to be made indigenously, ensuring supply chain stability and security of the most critical military use components.
Next war may happen soon. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi hints amidst geopolitical tensions. India's next war could be closer than we think, and it won't be fought by soldiers alone, Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi said during his recent address at IIT Madras. The Army Chief called for a whole-of-nation approach to national defense, urging citizens to prepare as one. Speaking at IIT Madras on August 4 during the inauguration of the Indian Army Research Cell, he warned that technology, civil readiness and public participation will be as decisive as military might. The next war which we are looking at, it may happen soon. We have to prepare accordingly, and this time, we will have to fight this battle together, General Dwivedi said. Pakistan's domestic perception of victory. The Army Chief also spoke on the precision strikes inside Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in retaliation for the Pahalgam terror attack during Operation Sindoor. Drawing from internal post-action assessments, General Dwivedi said the campaign combined technology integration with strategic narrative management. Victory is in the mind, he noted, pointing to Pakistan's domestic perception of having won the clash. If you ask a Pakistani whether you lost or won, he'd say, "My chief has become field marshal, we must have won only," General Rawat said. Collaborative projects underway. India's counter was an information campaign centered around the message "Justice Done," which, according to him, became one of the most viewed globally. The army reinforced it with visible briefings by 2 women officers, one from the Army and another from the Air Force, and even unveiled an operation logo designed in-house by a lieutenant colonel and a non-commissioned officer. Framing modern defense as a shared responsibility, the top army officer said collaborative projects like community bunkers along the border to advanced drones are being developed with Indian institutions.